All right, I'll head over there and back you
All
up.
right. Okay, appreciate that. What's your
All right.
ping number?
I am 1172.
All right. All right, see you soon.
Bye.
All right, take care.
Hey, Nino, good to see you.
Hey,
No,
how you doing?
Osvaldo, I'm not beating
Good
up. No, I'm not
Oh,
gonna
how did
stab
the
her.
trial go
Goodbye.
today?
Oh, no, mine's delayed.
Oh, I
When they're
forgot.
gonna-
It got
when they're gonna
delayed.
book
Right,
it,
right,
yeah.
right, right.
Although you're supposed to be there as one of my lawyers. What do you mean? How did it go?
Yeah. Well, no, but I told you, right? Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Well, yeah, you can call me Dilly if you want to.
I don't want to. Your name's
That's
Tilly.
fair.
Yeah.
Once you're
Why is my name
elected, I
Tilly?
don't think
Okay.
it matters
Yeah.
now.
Is
But
your
okay,
name
that's
not
fair.
Tilly?
I'll
Yep.
let you off the hook.
Yeah.
Well,
Tilly.
I appreciate that.
Is someone here trying to fool me?
How y'all doing today?
What the hell is wrong
with your hair? Hello.
I was
We're teaching
asked
your
to come.
friend Tilly here not to be a clowncist.
She's why'd she?
Is that what we were doing?
Wait, what is she doing?
I said that they
She
all
said
look the
we all
same.
look the same.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Justin
call
Bieber hair?
Tilly my friend, to be honest. She's
What the
Oh,
fuck?
all right.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shut up.
That
Stop
wasn't
us.
on my
Shoot
bingo card for
away.
this interaction.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to
Yeah,
convince
you know
them
the
to
other
vote for you.
day-
You're kind of doing a
With the
bad job.
Justin Bieber hair.
The other day,
let's
she
go
was
back.
telling me that people in prison have no rights.
Yeah,
Like,
they
can you
can't
imagine
don't.
that?
Goes back.
See, I strongly believe that everybody in Los Santos should have a say. So,
The wardens of the state, they have no rights.
you
Nino.
see this? You see this?
They're the wardens of the state.
They
I
are.
think- I think
They
you- I
have
think you
no
mean
the
rights.
wards.
wards of the
Yeah.
state. The
Yeah.
warden
Wards?
is above
Wards? Oh, yeah, you're right. They're the
everyone
wards
there.
of the state. I'm sorry,
Do we
Testo. Now we're
recognize the
talking.
13th Amendment? Doesn't that say that they can be forced to do anything? Something like that?
Yeah.
I think they do lose all
What?
their rights. I don't think they're considered human.
I hope
when
we
they're
don't recognize it.
incarcerated.
Jesus Christ.
I
Uh,
don't know if that's true.
The prison.
But yeah, this is Nino.
How you
He
doing?
will. They said that you haven't talked to him, Nino.
Yeah, I spoke to Chatterbox. What was it, like 3 days ago? He
Jesus.
said he was gonna set something up, but then
And we're being
nothing
slow
really.
rolled.
Oh no, that's Abilene.
Oh,
Yeah, she's a lawyer.
is that your secret
Um,
service?
Yeah, I've been meaning to chat with you guys, but I spoke to Chatterbox, but things never sort of kicked off. But
Tilly,
Um,
you ever been in prison?
No, why?
Maybe we should take her there for a visit.
you know, I
No,
don't
no.
disagree.
For the,
I don't
I don't
disagree.
want to go to prison. I'm good.
No, yeah, you
Prison
guys
sounds
definitely
like-
got
Yeah, she definitely needs to
probably
go there
have
and-
some
Yeah.
constituents
look around.
incarcerated right now.
No, no,
I-
that's for legal people.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
I
they
prefer
gotta
to stay
vote.
above the law.
You have to vote.
Mr. Nino,
Yes, ma'am.
what are your plans for the hunting zone and regulation for that? I was gonna ask at your rally the other day, but I had to leave early.
Absolutely. So I haven't actually thought much about the hunting spot, but I'm. Do you have any ideas for it? So rather transparently, most of the ideas I posted up on votenino.com. So I got a series of things that like I'd like to do, and I've kind of expanded on how I want to do that. But there are areas that hasn't even like kind of crossed my my desk. So I'd love to hear.
Okay. Well, I'm more wondering, I guess, if you plan to collaborate with the mayor of North. Since you're in Los
Absolutely.
Santos, right?
That is correct. Given the fact that hunting would be up north, but the sales would be down here, I think very similar to lumber, there's going to be a need for some kind of collaboration. Now, depending on who ends up in office, because it's a very spread of candidates, you got Bobby Charles, which is kind of, he's a bit wild. So hard to know what to expect from him. Then you got Andy, who's
He'll
got
get
a pretty
impeached.
standard, like, gonna get very, I don't think too much is gonna change, like outside of, making securities better up there. But then you've got Bruce, who's also got a lot of different plans. But I think whoever ends up in office, there's gonna be a need for a collaboration.
Okay.
Yep.
No plans to introduce any sort of debtor's law type situation back into the city?
Debtor's law, I think there's a lot of, fundamentally, the reason I started running for mayor is due to an interaction where Fiona Stewart was forced to become a hostage in a cash exchange by the police department. And when I went to go represent her and try to acquire a FOIA, I was told that there was no report of the incident. And so I tried to get her to get a civilian report written and then have a FOIA produced so that we could do something. I was then told by the dispatcher that I had to wait 5 days to get the report that was being written right in front of me. I was so shocked by this, both in terms of like the way she was treated and like the nonchalantness, that I went to look into it, and it turned out that FOIA requests were not a part of legislation. I tried to speak to High Command, I spoke to DOJ, none of them gave a shit. In fact, they went as far as saying, "What's the big deal? They can eventually produce it." And I said, well, this poor woman, and let alone anybody else who's trying to defend themselves or try to get justice served, we can't get FOIA. How is any lawyer going to be able to function? This ultimately led to the FOIA legislation getting passed. A lot of effort behind that. I witnessed a lot of cops, like even going to the extent of telling me that, well, it's not in law. What are you going to do, Omega Lol? And these sort of incidents, what told me I got to run for mayor, and I need to focus on making sure the basic principles of people's rights are secured. And that means more lawyers, more legislation protecting yourselves, like being able to carry like 5 joints, getting a better we need a stronger rules around RS. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the court case that just happened with Abilene, where effectively a cop assumed someone had moonshine bottles, and without any belief the person was violent, was allowed to frisk her and then take moonshine bottles, and it held up in court. It's ridiculous.
Tell them about NVL.
Oh, yes. So due to the incident that transpired, I want to say about 3 weeks ago now, in which our friend right here was trying to defend himself. Okay. My understanding is that there was a gang shooting. And the cops came, surrounded y'all, and didn't do anything. So in order to protect himself, he grabbed the gun off a body to defend himself, and in turn he was arrested. The person that Moose took the gun off of stated that it was his gun. That person was GSR positive. Moose was GSR negative, yet he got all the charges. So one of the pieces of legislation I want to pass is called NVL, the Necessary Violence legislation, which allows individuals in cases where their life is in danger, they can use whatever means necessary to defend themselves. So, if that can be articulated, let them defend themselves. Civilians should not be just, victims of violence. It's and the law needs to protect them from that. So,
yeah, that's why I voted for Nino.
Yep. So,
Okay. Well, I appreciate your candid answers and
Yeah.
all that.
absolutely.
How will you be, I guess, working through new legislation if someone was to, I don't know, propose something to you?
That's a great question. The problem that I personally had with the previous council wasn't strictly due to the members on that board, but it was rather the non-democratic process that was utilized. Most legislation was written by 1 or 2 individuals, and then it was decided by them whether it should pass or not. Number 1, that's not efficient. Number 2, it really removes any democratic voice. Like, granted, you might vote for the mayor, but once the mayor's in power, who's to say what they do and don't do, right? The people's voice gets completely silenced. In order to prevent this from happening, and especially due to the fact that the mayor has a lot of power now, they can just pass things as long as the DOJ doesn't shut it down. We are looking to bring representatives in So we're going to be holding a secondary vote, like as soon as the DOJ allows us to. And we're going to have 3 select men and women and 3 deputy select men and women voted in. And the idea behind that is the top 6 votes are going to be able to attend any legislative discussions and be able to represent their constituents. So, for example, the police department might push for somebody. Y'all might push for somebody. And that way, every law that is brought to our desk has those other voices there to be able to either counter it, ask for changes, bring up their concerns, etc., etc. In addition to this, with Abilene here, who's a lawyer and has done a lot of work with passing some of the new stuff that's gone through,
Hi.
we want to encourage more people to get their bar licenses and give them the faculties to actually write legislation themselves. So, for example, let's say there's something that you guys want. You could go to Moose Knuckles, and we're going to make sure he gets the support to be able to write something that then can land on our desk. And through that efficient chain, we can get those things reviewed and passed a lot quicker. So...
You know, you just brought something up that I've been kind of ticked off about. I'm kind of jaded about court and the whole process and all that, and I don't particularly trust anyone but myself to handle my own cases, aside from, I guess, needing somebody in the courtroom to ask me questions if I need to go on the stand. But if I want to represent myself, I'm currently not able to post things on the docket
Yes.
for myself.
That's technically changed,
Has
but
it?
it's still because all the past legislation was let me double check on that.
Yeah.
'Cause that was one of my biggest issues with my last case, is I had to wait for my lawyers to do a lot of stuff, and it just was very frustrating for me as someone who's very on the ball about things and likes to get things done that day. With regards to court.
I very much
And,
agree with you.
I just would like to represent myself in certain things if I would like to, and I understand that kind of undermines the need for a lawyer sometimes, but, you know, not everyone needs a lawyer.
Yeah, no, not at all. If the police can go up there and represent their own prosecution in these cases and they're not even bar certified, the playing field needs to be even. And if it's not the case already, citizens definitely need the right to represent themselves if they so choose to.
Yeah.
Because I would love to be bar certified, but I am a felon.
Oh, well,
So-
I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm going to hit a couple points. The first is we're going to push very heavily to allow for felons to become lawyers. Now, transparently, I think the DOJ is probably going to push back on that very heavily. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of moot logical reasons as to why they're going to prevent it.
Understandably.
And so the middle ground that we're going to try to traction first is a new expungement program that is felon to lawyer. So felons, start as legal aids and they show their work. And if they show activity on that path, we want that to result in a free expungement and a path to getting the bar. Because I strongly believe that the best lawyers for the civilians are going to be ex-felons. Because number one, they're less likely to leak information to the cops, because that does happen. So, for example, there can be a lawyer out there, you work with them, next thing you know, a month from now, they're telling the cops all the secrets you told them when they were defending you. That's less likely to happen with a felon.
D.
She just flipped us off.
Yeah.
I think that was me.
The second thing that we want to do is exactly what you said, and I think the pushback, this is purely speculation, is that they probably don't want random people posting to the docket and it being not in the proper format, etc., etc. But with Abilene, that's on she's actually leading up that whole segment. In terms of like getting lawyers up, letting them get bar certified, getting more bar licenses out, etc., etc. And that is on our list to do. Because I'm in agreement. I'm even going to go as far as saying we want to see if we can get magistrates in Los Santos to be able to handle misdemeanors and traffic citations, because I think once something takes more than a week to go to court, even, it's kind of lost its impact.
Oh, honey, I spent 75 days on mine.
Jesus.
They also need to have at least like 2 judges around to take bench trials.
Yeah. So I
It's
know.
really annoying, like having wanted to have a bench trial, and then they say, "Oh, there's no judges around, so you're gonna have to put it on the docket."
Yeah, and
I'm still waiting for my lawyer to put stuff on the docket, and it's been like 2 weeks.
yeah, the challenge that lawyers are having, like I mentioned, the FOIA thing, we have constantly. I'm just gonna say it is. Officers are abusing the bench trial and the docket to push things that they cannot prove. I have not lost a single case yet. And some of the cases that I'm winning are so horrendous. I had someone go to court for a cash exchange. He was charged with accessory to robbery and I forgot what the other charge was. A reckless endangerment. By the own testimony of 2 detectives, they post facto decided to charge him with reckless endangerment to establish the probable cause for the original arrest. On the stand, the detective stated, "I don't actually remember what the probable cause was." Now, when I look at that, that tells me that people are getting thrown into prison without PC to begin with, but they don't have the avenue to even test it in court. And
You don't know the half of it.
I'd love, if you got a story, I'd love to hear.
You and me, we would need to sit down for a while to explain what happened to me.
I would love to do that. I think if there's one thing I can do, Tessa, before I get out of office, is to help put the gears in place so that people feel like they're at least getting an answer. And that extends to, and I've had a lot of one-on-one conversations with officers. Some of them really loathe what I'm trying to push, but I'm going as far as saying that if an officer of the law treads on someone's rights, uses excessive force, like steps out of a car and starts blasting someone without a gun, without any evidence of that person being dangerous, that those things need to come out with a press release where they point out what happened and show that there is some accountability, because the whole closed door policy only furthers the divide between the police department and the people, and it also diminishes the value of the good officers that are out there. Because
I had a cop roll up on me, and I wasn't doing anything. He was ping chasing.
Yeah.
And he wanted to see my ID, so I showed him my ID, and he looked at the MDT, and it showed me, but he still wanted me to take my face off. And then when I wouldn't take my face off, he arrested me for disobeying a peace officer. And then in the cells, he took my face off, took a picture of it, and put it on the MDT.
Yeah,
Jesus
we
Christ.
have had issues
After-
recently with
Yeah.
Proc unmasking the clowns, which is something that we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
that
We've
should
done it, 2
result
of
in
us.
him getting fired, if I'm going to be honest.
It should have, but
Yeah.
He did it to Twinkles too, but
Yeah.
he didn't put
And Thomas
Twinkles.
Flags too.
Yeah, he didn't put
So-
Twinkle's picture on. He kept it for himself. He took
Yeah, he
it
took
a
some selfies.
selfie.
Here's what we're going to do. I actually had a very similar situation with Marlo Stanfield, though it wasn't his mask. It was a, just a regular mask. Yeah. What we're going to do is, I'm going to note this down. We're going to actually update our site right after this, is, because I think this is a simple move, is we're going to get legislation passed for a registry for, I don't know what we want to classify it as, but if you have a documented You know, document your face and make it very like a process for it, so it goes into your profile, and then establish like something in there that prevents anyone from doing that to you. And if they do, then we can come at them civilly and criminally, quite frankly. Probably the best way to do it is we can do it with like a doctor, you know, like maybe a form, you submit it, the doctor signs off on it, a judge signs off on it, and boom.
Yep.
So yeah, those kind of things, it just the problem is these things to a lot of offices seem like they're nothing.
I gotta step away for a second.
Yep. Some of these things, unfortunately, are looked at as being non-issue by a vast number of offices, and they don't understand how much that makes people's blood boil, because it's a violation of your civil rights. And I mean, if I was in your position, I'd probably start thinking about like blasting cops, like, you know, because
I want to take his face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, clowns don't blast. You know, we don't usually turn on cops.
Yeah. Yeah, and
but I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, your rights should matter, and those rights need to be protected.
Yeah.
And if the police
you should
aren't
talk to
willing,
Judge Booty. He did a summary judgment on a case where the cops impounded my car. They got stolen right in front of them while they had their guns pointed at them. They threatened to arrest me because I opted to give them my keys because they said they'd kill me if I didn't. So they threatened to arrest me. And then when they caught the yuck bags, I showed up to pick up my car, and Officer Watson said, "Moose, we're impounding this. You can sue if you have a problem with it." Judge Booty wrote on the docket a real good lecture for her. So you wasted my time, the court's time, Moose's time, the lawyer's time, just because you didn't feel like thinking about your job and doing it? He gave all the cops involved a fine and a slap on the wrist. Yuck.
Good.
I like him. He's a good judge. You should talk to Judge Booty.
yeah, I love that, and that's the thing, right? Like, your time matters, the lawyers' times matter, the court's times matter, and you know, these short, like these like these short circuit attempts by officers to subvert justice cannot be acceptable. And you know, given that a big part of that comes down to who is going to be the chief of police, because I think they are going to set the standard for the future of the Los Santos Police Department. We've spent a great deal of time interviewing officers preemptively. Many of them I've given till Monday to give me a plan as to how the future of the Los Santos Police Department is going to look like. And part of that evaluation process.
Be a good chief.
Well, it's probably going to be someone who is a member of law enforcement, but it's going to be somebody that puts the people's rights first, because I quite frankly don't give a crap if they catch people that rob banks, right? Save the hostage, you know? Go find the people that are hurting people, and ensure that people that officers that are violating people's rights or treating them like shit from the get, they need to be reprimanded, and very swiftly. And I think with that standard in place, not only is it going to improve PD civilian relationships, but it's a path by which the department and Los Santos can be in a much better place. So, but you guys have any other questions about my campaign? You can ask anything. I'm very transparent, even if I don't agree. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. Was that shirt originally white and you put something red up in the washing machine?
Oh no, this is
That's what I was wondering this entire time.
No, it's not white. This is salmon.
Salmon. That's
Yep.
a fish.
Salmon. Salmon.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like salmon.
Yeah.
Or a fish shirt.
Tasty.
I have a salmon shirt just like that.
Yeah.
Kinda fishy, man.
It's yeah,
It's
it's
just the fish shirt though.
I feel like it's a very unique color. It was popular like in the like 10 years ago. I'm trying to bring it back.
Okay, I
What
like
color
it.
is your shirt pocket? Is it the same?
Yeah.
Wow,
Nice.
you guys got a little thing going on right
Yeah.
there. That was my only question.
That's what's up.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I don't got any other questions.
okay.
I think he answered all of them.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
Hell
good.
yeah.
All right.
Well, please do
Very
take a look
kind.
at the website, and the way that we've displayed everything there, we're gonna do very similar with the with the mayorship. So there'll be a site. You'll see what's like coming through, like legislatively, like what's being proposed, so that there's a lot of visibility as to what's happening, you know, in the chambers. In addition
And he
to
took-
that.
In case anyone's worried, he took Archie Archer's picture off his website since he's dead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Archie, yeah, may rest in peace.
You say P or peace?
Peace in peace.
I
Yeah.
said P.
Yeah, so you'll be able to see everything on there. And that includes, if you're ever worried about like where money is being spent, our artist is going to be creating infograms or infographics. I think that's what it's called, every 30 days. So you can get a visual see of like where all the money's going. So
Well, that'll be cool.
yeah. So well, thank you guys so much for your time. And if any questions come up, please don't hesitate to give me or anyone on the team a call.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you.
Thank you.
Good to see you again, Nino.
Likewise,
Thanks,
Moose.
guys.
All right.
Goodbye, fish man.
Hey, good looking out, Tilly.
You're welcome. What the hell were you doing that you were so busy?
I've been making calls.